And we are live. I know that I do not have anything on the window right now, but that's because I'm still getting GeoGuessr set up. Like, I guess as it's not too incriminating if I like reveal what's on my browser right now. For whatever reason, there we go. I guess you guys will just have to deal with my vote. Actually, I'm gonna look up something. What do I want as a background track? I guess some nature sounds seem oddly appropriate. I forgot that if I minimize it, things get all funny. I really should either look into finding some way to synchronize my phone on Twitch. I'll just type a message. Actually, this is more than good enough. This is perfect. Okay, now I have it so that I can see chat and I can play the game. So let's get started. Now, I have 4 places unlocked. Portugal, the UK, and part of the United States. I'm going to stick to the northeast United States, it's Portugal, and the UK because, well, I live in the western part of the United States, and while it's very unlikely, I'd rather not dox myself, so... Okay, let's see here. This, it looks very similar to Spanish, and since Portugal and Spain are right next to each other, I'm assuming that this would be somewhere in... Yeah, this does look like it's been around for a while, and it does look like it's rather ornate, so... I wasn't that far off. This looks like it's in, like, Arizona or New Mexico. Like, the adobe... I don't know what Utah looks like, but, like, the adobe does... Let's go with Albuquerque. At least I got the right state. Okay, I can confirm that this is in Portugal. Where in Portugal, I'm not sure. I wouldn't have said Setúbal because I thought it would probably be, like, too obvious to go with Lisbon. Okay, this is in English. I don't think JCPenney has any American branches. I know this isn't the city I live in, like... We have a few JCPenney's, and I've seen all of them, so... Let's try... This actually does look kind of like... I want to say this is in Arizona or could be Nevada. So, you know what? I have not guessed that, so let's try Reno. Alaska. Well, I don't really know anything about that, much about that state, so English again. Honestly, probably should have like given myself more variety. Like this does look like out in the middle of nowhere, and it kind of reminds me of the set of Napoleon Dynamite, which took place in Idaho. So let's go with that. Utah. Well, much like with Alaska, I don't know much. My 5 minutes. I do not have the pro version of this. Like, if I was to actually suddenly get like big and like go, like justify, like I could justify like getting the pro version. But I guess in the meantime, I'll have to go with like other games. Fortunately, there are other geography themed guessing games. This one is called Worldle. You can probably guess what it's supposed to be a play on. If you're not familiar with that last state, it's actually a remnant of the Holy Roman Empire. Like Liechtenstein is one of like five is like one of 4 or 5 microstates. It's either Bern or Zurich. Well, that was certainly informative. There is one more game I could play. This one's a bit on the iffy side since I have played it before, but well, it's not exactly the most reliable load source of loading on Firefox. It doesn't exactly load very reliably on Firefox. Let's actually see if there's any other geography browser games. I'm thinking that I'll make tonight's stream a short one for two reasons. The first reason is that I have something that may or may not ain't in the works that I'd rather not bring up because I don't want to spoil it. And the second is, well, honestly, I kind of want to. I am kind of on a roll with this game of Factorio's space exploration that I'm working on. Like, I'm very close to actually, like, getting into space. I probably would have actually if I didn't have to go to work. Like, unfortunately, I'm at a government job, and like the government does not give Fridays off. Although I did get to go home early, so that was nice. I know that irate is the word that you're supposed to start with, but anime actually works just fine. Trying to think of words that it could be. If I still had A, straw could work. Okay, so can't be arrow, which would be. Okay, so T. Oh, throw. Feels good. This is Quirtle, which essentially has me solve four versions of the same puzzle. A is in none of them, so I can... Hmm. Two out of three. I mean, four. Anyway, let's do one more game of GeoGuessr since I'd rather not just like cycle through all the existing games I have. Kinda wish it would let me choose the ones to eliminate. This looks like somewhere in the English countryside. Yep, it is in England. Unless, I mean, it is possible there could be somewhere in, like, New England called Hailsham. Yep, it's in the south. Oh, I was pretty close. I think this is Finland. .fi. Yeah, that's Finland. Let's try somewhere in Helsinki. Oh, I was pretty close. This looks like somewhere in the United States. Although, okay, it's in New York. Okay.
You knew I wouldn't forget you, right?
Yeah.
The only thing is I want the sauce to celery.
I know.
And if it's in there, I don't know if it's in there.
That was a pretty good guess.
But,
I'm playing GeoGuessr.
oh, that's for geography's sake.
Although it's not a good idea for me to fill you in since...
So what do? Oh, you're on your...
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you have these people that get...
Okay. Well, that's all I can really do. I can understand not like... Oh, I mean, I'd rather not just like constantly have to keep finding new ones. So I know this is a relatively short stream, but honestly, I have other things I want to do tonight. So thanks for tuning in. And Sunday we'll be back with a bonus Pokemon Xenoverse stream, and which we'll also be doing from Monday through Wednesday. So 4 days in a row of Pokemon Xenoverse. Not sure what we'll do on Friday, but we can cross that bridge when I get there. Thanks for watching the VOD or watching this live, if that's how you chose to watch it. I'm Andreas Werbel, and I'll see you next assignments. Later.